iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. We are here continuing, can we get the words out? Continuing to review the FSTA draft. Now, I've gone through my draft the last couple of days. And now what I wanted to do today was look at roster construction. And I don't want to bore everybody with these drafts and going over, but I think, first of all, what I like to do is two things. One is try to explain why I did what I did. That's the first thing. Secondly, let's look at other teams and see what they did and see if we agree whether or not they made a good start or not, because I think we can learn from that. You look at a board, and I know when we go to Vegas for the Fantasy Football World Championships, I look at the other boards before our draft, and I'll say, all right, this guy's going in 3, this guy's going in 4, but wait, in this draft he went in 6. What's going on here? I try to look at that to see what's happening and where guys are getting taken. So not every draft is perfect, but it's a starting point, right? It's a starting point of what guys want to do. So very quickly, I'm just going to go through the other teams here and see if we can look at what guys did and didn't do. So team number 1 was Fantastics, Anthony Perry. And what he did, his team was Trout, Dozier, Syndergaard, Cargo, Abreu, Longoria, Strasburg, and Miller. That was his start. And then he comes back with Perez and Ozuna and Nunez. So if I look at his team at a whole, his catcher is Sal Perez. First base is Abreu. Second base is Dozier. He took in round 2. Shortstop is Eduardo Nunez. Third base is Longoria. Then his pitchers are Syndergaard, Strasburg, Matz. His outfield is Trout, Gonzalez, Ozuna, Mazzara, Broxton. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think if I have Trout, I like getting Syndergaard. I do. But I think Dozier was too early. I think when there's enough good middle infielders, he didn't have to go Dozier that early. And I really don't like Jose Abreu. I think I just would have waited and taken, I don't know, C.J. Cron, Tommy Joseph 10 rounds later. I don't think Abreu is that special on a crappy team. Really, on a very crappy team. Colton and the Wolfman, Glenn Colton and Rick Wolf, and of course Stacey Stern, went Betts, Cano, Kluber, Sanchez, Carpenter, Davis, Dahl, Tanaka, Peterson, Gossman, Diaz, Velasquez, Addison, Russell, who I do like. So if I look at their team on a whole, Gary Sanchez is their catcher in round 4. He better be good in round 4. In round 4, he better be really good, right? He better light the world up. Then at first base, they're Chris Davis. Second base, Robbie Cano. Shortstop, Addison Russell, and Matt Carpenter at third. That's pretty good. The outfield is Betts, Dahl, Peterson, Ellsbury, Puig. Man, with Dahl and Peterson and Puig, you need 3 guys to all play to potential. Then the pitchers are Kluber, Tanaka, Gossman, Velasquez. Then they got Diaz. It's okay. I think I worry a little bit about that outfield there. I mean, Ellsbury and Puig, these guys can be big fat zeros. Masters Ball, Lorne Michaels and Todd Zola, the Lord Todd Zola. They go Arenado, Freeman, Pollock, Cespedes, Lucroy, Carrasco, Eaton, Duffy, Pedroia, Colomé, Davis. So later on their roster is Lucroy at catcher in round 5. A bit early for me, but okay. Freeman at first base, that's fine. Dustin Pedroia at second. Shortstop's going to be Brandon Crawford. That's a little weak. Third base is Arenado, who I love. The outfield, Pollock, Cespedes, Eaton, Calhoun, Kiermaier. Not bad. Not bad. Pitching staff is Carrasco, Duffy, Eichhoff, DeScalfani, Cotton, Estrada. Yeah, that's the problem. I like Carrasco, I like Duffy, but then it gets a little dicey for me. Little dicey. Not a bad team, though. Steve Gardner and Howard Kamen from the USA Today. They go Altuve, Lindor, Cruz, Posey, Arrieta, Hanley, Ramirez, Verlander, Melanson, Jones, Hosmer, Porcello, Lackey. So let's take a look at his team. They are going to be Posey at catcher. That's fine. First base is Hanley Ramirez. Second base is Altuve. Shortstop is Lindor. Third base is Ryan Healy. They need him to produce again. The outfield, their first outfielder, they go Cruz, Adam Jones, Duvall, Dyson. Man, there's not a lot of speed there, but they have speed with Altuve. Pitching staff is Arrieta, Verlander, Porcello, Lackey, Manea, Betances, Iglesias. Not a bad team. Not a bad team. I like where he's going with it there. Going to need that outfield to play well. Really going to need that outfield in the average, right? I know he has Posey, he has Altuve. That's good. He needs Hosmer to do well. Charlie Wiegert for CDM Sports. He takes Paul Goldschmidt, Bumgarner, Jonathan VR, Desmond, Kemp, Chapman, Carlos Martinez, DeGrom, Kendrys Morales, Lamb, JT Realmuto, Scope, Eric Thames, AJ Ramos, James Paxton. So let's see as a whole. He's Realmuto, Goldschmidt, Scope, VR, and Lamb. That's not bad. The outfield, though, is Kemp, Peralta, Santana. Ugh, that's a bad outfield. That outfielding, well, you got Desmond, so I guess Desmond, Kemp, but man, that's a big drop-off. Yeah, I'm not liking that. Pitching staff, Bumgarner, Carlos Martinez, DeGrom, Paxton. I like that. And then the closers are Chapman. That's pretty good. So, I mean, that's good. I just don't know if I like that outfield, but, look, if there's anything you can pick up during the year, it's an outfielder. Greg Ambrosius and Tom Kasenik for the NFBC. They go Bryant, Encarnacion, Bogarts, Darvish, Cueto, Beltre, Jose Ramirez, Jose Batista, Cole Hamels, Jose Peraza. A lot of Jose's on this team. Cody Allen, Carlos Gomez, Wellington Castillo, Ben Zobrist. So let's see. Catcher for them is Castillo. First base is Encarnacion. Second base is Zobrist. Shortstop is Bogarts. Third is Bryant. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Outfield will be Batista and Cargo and Jose Peraza. This is a rough outfield for me. The pitching is Darvish, Cueto, Hamels, Moore, Happ, Cobb. That's pretty good. And then the closers are Cody Allen and Ottavino. That's not bad, but that outfield is, wow, that's a train wreck. RotoWire, Jeff Erickson and DVR, Derek Van Riper, go Kershaw, Turner, Stanton, Seager, Jansen, Schwarber, Britton, Piscotty, Kane, Greinke, Turner, Hill, Carlos Santana, Diaz, Inciarte, Vaught. So Vaught is one at the catcher. First base looks like it's going to be who? I don't see one. Wow. I don't see a first baseman. What do they do here? I don't know what they got going on here. I'll have to check. Second base is going to be Starlin Castro. Shortstop will be Carlos Santana can go at first. Sorry, Carlos Santana. I apologize. Santana at first, Castro at second, Diaz at short, Seager at third. That is a rough infield. But they have Trey Turner. So their outfielders, I'll call them Turner, Stanton, Schwarber, Piscotty, Kane. That's very good. That's very good. The pitching is Kershaw, Greinke, Hill, Schumacher. I would have liked them to have followed up with a better... If you take Kershaw, right? You take Kershaw, you better get yourself a good second and third starter. I like Greinke, but Kershaw, Greinke, Hill, that's not striking fear in my heart when I could be like Kershaw, Lester, Greinke. That was better. I don't need Kenley Jansen in 5 and Zach Britton in 7. I could have taken Britton in 7 and taken another closer later. Maybe instead of Rich Hill, right? They do that little swap. I think I would have been much better with that team. So when you go and you make your picks and you start with a pitcher, don't abandon it. Don't say, I'm good at pitcher. Bye-bye, see ya. No. Just because you're good at pitcher, be very good at pitcher. That's what you need to do. All right, the Fantasy Sports Network, Mike Cardano, Chris Meany, Machado, Springer, Sale, Segura, Kinsler, Frazier, Pujols, Odubel, Herrera, Grandal, Harvey, Kelvin Herrera, 2 Herreras there, Fowler, Keuchel, John Gray, Cron. So Grandal's their catcher. First base is going to be Pujols. Yeesh. Kinsler at second. Segura at short, Machado at third. Not bad. I don't love the Pujols pick. Outfield is Springer, Herrera, Fowler, Renfroe, Soler. That's a little rough for me. Pitchers are Sale, Harvey, Keuchel, Gray. Not bad. And then the closers are Kelvin Herrera, and I don't know. I'm not loving that team. All right, SiriusXM, Ray Flowers takes Rizzo, Correa, Yelich, J.D. Martinez, John Lesta, Anthony Rendon, Javi Baez, Teran, Kimbrel, Pence, Stroman, Elvis Andrus, Salazar, Yad Molina, Grichuk. So his catcher is Yad Molina. First base for him is, of course, Rizzo. Second base is going to be most likely Javi Baez. Shortstop, Carlos Correa. Third base, Rendon. That's not bad. The outfield is Yelich, J.D. Martinez, Pence, Grichuk, and Hayward. Oh, Jason Hayward stinks. Pitching is Lester, Teran, Stroman, Salazar, Gray. Man, if Sonny Gray comes back, that's not bad. Not bad. I think Ray will be in the middle. Don't love it, in the middle. Fantasy alarm, Jeff Manns takes Scherzer and Marte and Ryan Braun. Will Myers, McCutchen, Jason Kipnis, Tulowitzki. Miguel Sano, Jarrett Cole, King Felix Hernandez, Rajai Davis, Russell Martin. So let's see his team. He's Russell Martin, Will Myers, Jason Kipnis, Tulowitzki, and Sano. Not bad, especially if Tulo and Sano can stay healthy. The outfield is Marte, Braun, Rajai Davis, Malik Smith, Curtis Granderson. That's a little rough there where you got Rajai and Malik Smith who both don't have power. And Marte doesn't have a lot of power. This team might be lacking some power. Scherzer, Cole, Hernandez, McCullers, not bad. Not a bad start there. So, need some power. But you know what? You could sacrifice a category and still win. Ron Chandler starts with Charlie Blackmon and goes Votto, D. Gordon, David Price, Wilson Contreras, DJ LeMahieu, Chris Davis, Kyle Hendricks, Yasmani Tomas, Ken Giles, Michael Fuller, Brandon Belt, Dansby Swanson. So his catcher is Contreras. First base is Votto. Second base is Gordon. Shortstop is Swanson. Third base is Nick Castellanos. That's okay, but you're expecting a lot from Swanson and Castellanos. The outfield is Blackmon, Davis, Tomas, Drury. I kind of like that a little bit. Pitching staff, Price is the 1, Hendricks is a 2, Fulmer 3, Nola 4, Smiley 5. I like that construction there. Giles as a closer and Cam Bedrosian as a closer in waiting. That's okay. You'll have to see how that turns out. Liking that team, not loving it. I think the team I like outside of mine is Baseball HQ guys. They went with Josh Donaldson, then Corey Seager, Danny Murphy, Billy Hamilton, Archer, Justin Upton, Evan Gaddis, Sungwon Oh, Kenta Maeda, Jose Quintana, Alex Reyes, Buxton, Moustakas, Wieters, Max Kepler, so Tommy Joseph. So here's what they did. Catcher is Gaddis. First base looks like it's going to be Tommy Joseph, which I'm okay with. I like Tommy Joseph. Second base, or Danny Murphy. But let's just say Danny Murphy at second, Corey Seager at short, Donaldson at third. So you got a nice power, nice average there. The outfield is Hamilton, Upton, Buxton, Kepler, Jay Bruce. There's some questions there with Hamilton, Buxton, and Kepler, but the upside is there. The pitchers are Archer, Maeda, Quintana, Reyes, Bundy, Daniel Norris, not bad. The closers are Owen, Francisco Rodriguez. I think that's a pretty solid team. So could I fault them on Billy Hamilton? Well, maybe, but they have Donaldson, Seager, and Murphy, so they can handle it. Buxton and Kepler, they're going to have to be wearing their Twins jerseys quite often, right? And basically hoping that these young guys emerge into something, better. So what do we do now with fantasy baseball? I won't look at this draft now for a while. I'll put it away because I got my other drafts. I might take it out before I do other drafts just to get an idea of where people have gone. ADPs are terrific for that, the average draft positions. Where are guys going? When are they going? And where, how does that help us? But after this, I won't be looking at this draft again. And until I probably mid-March, and then I'll probably go back and go, oh, wow, I did that? I like this guy then? Or, wow, that value I got was great. Or, what was I thinking? That's a terrible pick. I'm an idiot, right? So there'll be a lot of questions that I'm going to have when looking, at my roster in like 4 to 6 weeks. But what I try to do is always just gain more and better information, right? I'm going to be smarter in a month than I am today. I am. I want to know more baseball. I'm going to be talking more baseball, doing more drafts, seeing what other people are doing, getting beat writers on the show in the morning, writing about it than living it. So I always say I get better as draft season goes on. I may not be a great drafter in January, but by March, I'm really good at what I'm doing here because I see it and I go over it. I feel that way in football at the Fantasy Football World Championships in Vegas. By like my third draft, I can just call out what player is going to go where. You'll sit next to me. If you sit next to me at a draft, I'll be like, Ladarius Green. Next pick, Ladarius Green. You'll be like, how'd you know that? Because I just kind of get an idea what people are doing. Right? Same. Baseball is a little different because people construct their lineups differently, where football is slightly more predictable, or football, within the first couple of rounds, you can see what it is that you need. I need a running back. I need a receiver. Baseball, there's more tentacles because it's more like an octopus. I got first base, infield, outfield, pitcher, starters, closers. I really have to be on the mark, it's not easy, right? It's not easy to do. My next big draft will be on February 13th, the labor mixed draft. I have position number 9, draft order number 9 out of 15 teams. And I will be mocking. I will be mock drafting over the next 10 days to play around with that pick and see if I go Scherzer, what does that mean? If I go Bryce Harper, what does that mean? If I go Josh Donaldson, what does that mean? I need to sit there and see what it'll mean to take a certain pick at a certain place, right? If I do something and I take the guy and I'll say to myself, look, I like this Scherzer draft. I like where it's going. I really have good starting pitching in a 15-team league. I want to get that number 1 guy. That solidifies my rotation. That's a way of thinking. And then I play that draft out. And I do a couple of drafts every day for the next 10 days. So I'll walk into that draft with 20 or 30 mock drafts. And I'll really have a good idea of which players do I think will be available when I pick. That's the key. Who's there when I go? And am I making the right pick at the right time? I do those things, I will be very successful in a draft, even a draft as tough as labor. And remember, February 13th is still early. Still early. I'd rather it be March 13th, but I got to be smarter because I'm attacking this a month before, and things can absolutely and positively change, and I need to be prepared for it. Speaking of being prepared, if you want to be prepared to win your fantasy baseball league, or your NBA DFS, or PGA or NHL or whatever it might be, I implore you, I beseech you, please go to scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO. You pay for 1 month, we get you 2 more for free. For example, in NBA, we give the optimizer. We have an optimizer. You go in and you put in your team and you see who the guys like for that night. You could put in guys and optimize around it and see which players should have the best numbers. It's a really great tool and it's free right now on scoutfantasy.com. So I encourage you to go there and be part of the Scout Army and see what we have going on and see if our tools will help you. I know they've been helping me. And, one day I want to be your rich friend. So what can I tell you? I'm working my way towards that. All right. We'll be back tomorrow taking a look at some more news and, of course, getting close to the Super Bowl. Talk a little baseball, maybe a little basketball. Got a lot to cover, a lot to do. I'm Dr. Roto, Scout Fantasy Sports, wishing you a great day. Be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!